Hello and welcome to You and Me Equals 3. In this video, I'm sharing with you this delicious whole wheat bread that is so delicious. Oh my god, I don't even know where to start. It is perfect for the whole family, including your little one, because it has such a soft texture. So to begin, I have all my ingredients here, and I'm going to start by pouring about half a cup of warm water into my mixing bowl. And into this I will add my dry yeast. So for this recipe, if you have a stand mixer or a hand mixer, you can use the dough hook and do it with the machine. It is faster and it is much easier. I decided to do it by hand though, because I know that not everybody has a stand mixer or a hand mixer even, and I wanted to prove that you can make delicious homemade bread without any machine, okay? Just using some elbow grease. So with the dry yeast into the water, I'm using a wooden spoon to stir this in, and then I will cover this and let it sit for 5 minutes. And this is just to activate the yeast, okay? So for the ingredients here, I have some wheat bran, some wheat flour, sunflower oil, some apple cider vinegar, some honey, and some salt. So now it's been 5 minutes and I'm back, and we are going to start mixing. So I'm going to first add my salt to this, and then I will add the honey. You can use, the honey is just to give it a little bit of a sweet taste. You can use more or less. And by the way, the link will be listed in the description box below. You can visit my website to check it out. Now I added in the sunflower oil, and I'm going to add in some apple cider vinegar. And this might look weird, but the apple cider vinegar is going to keep the yeast happy and help it to work better. So now I'm going to give everything a good stir, and I stir kind of rough. And then I'm going to add half of my wheat flour into this. I live in Austria and you cannot find a wheat flour with the bran, so you have to buy it separate. So I first put in the wheat flour, and then I added a wheat bran to it. So the wheat bran is like the skin, okay? And then with the water, you want to do this gradually. You don't want to dump everything in, because depending on how dry or how moist the air is, you might need more water or less. And the same with the flour. So now we are doing this gradually. We add a little bit of water and then some more flour, and we keep doing this until it's all finished, okay? And note that this dough is very sticky, so do not be alarmed if you find that your dough is sticky. Don't add unnecessary flour to it to make it too hard. So now we are going to put some elbow grease into this dough. So we will keep doing this, and you can see that it's kind of sticky here. We'll keep doing this. I still had a little bit of flour, so I added that to it. And we will do this for 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, you will see that it has a smooth texture and it will be like elastic. And so, yeah, we are going to work this dough until it gets to the point that we want it to. Okay, so I had to fast forward the video a bit, because you watching me for 15 minutes just kneading, that would have been torture. So I had to fast forward, and now it has been 15 minutes, and I'm going to In a clean bowl, I'm going to grease it with some sunflower oil, and I will transfer my bread dough into it and have it rest in there. Or you can just take the dough out of here, grease the same bowl, and put it in. I decided to put it in a clean bowl. Okay, taking the dough out was a bit challenging because it's very sticky, but trust me, this is a very, very delicious bread. I mean, if you make this bread, you will be writing me and telling me, wow. So do not add too much flour, okay? That will only make it hard. And that will not be my bread if it's hard, because mine is very soft. So now I put it in a clean bowl, and I'm going to cover it with this parchment paper and then a kitchen towel as well. And I did put it next to my heater in the living room because it's kind of warm there, because you want it in a warm place. Okay, we are going to let this rest for 3 hours, and after 3 hours my dough was doubled in size, and we are about to bake some bread. Okay, I'm too excited in this video, I don't know why. Forgive me. So this is it. It has doubled in size. It's looking like bread, because if you make bread, it should double in size after it has been rested. So on a clean surface, I added some flour. I floured it so it doesn't stick. And I took it out, and now we are going to form our bread. Okay, it has such a smooth texture. Oh, I love it. So I had my baking pan sitting there and some butter. My oven was preheating, and I'm just forming it, okay? You can either make one loaf of bread with this dough, or you can divide it into maybe 3 or 4 pieces and make like rolls with them. Whatever you prefer. You can use a round baking pan and bake a round loaf, but this is what I did. So I have my baking tin, and I'm going to use some parchment paper and butter it with some butter to give it, to infuse more flavor into my bread. So I really went to town with the butter. I took a lot. And this baking pan has like a line in the middle, which means I can pull it and make it longer, or push it in and make it shorter. So I had to put a parchment paper in because I baked one time without the paper, and it was so challenging taking it out because some of the dough had gone in between, was in the line, and I couldn't take the bread out. I was so frustrated. That's the line there. So anyway, that's why I'm putting the parchment paper in. If you don't have a baking pan like that, you just need to butter it, and that's fine. You don't need to put a parchment paper in. Now I'm transferring my bread dough into the pan, and I'm going to, the link, like I said, the link is in the description box, and I think I set there exactly the size of my pan and everything. So now I'm going to cover this with the kitchen towel again, and then have it sit for 30 minutes for it to rise before we start baking. Okay. Okay, so our bread has been resting for another 30 minutes, and we are going to bake it for 30 minutes in our oven. And after 30 minutes, our bread was done, and it looked just like this. It's so, I don't know, it looks like bread, that's all I'll say. And the house smelled amazing, and it has such a beautiful crust, like golden brown. I love the color. And The crust is not hard. It's like when it's fresh, it's a little bit crunchy, but then it gets soft, and that is why it's perfect for children. You can just break a piece and give it to your 8-month-old and nibble on it. So this is a whole wheat bread. It stores really well as well. I sliced them into slices and then I put some in the freezer. We had a whole bunch of them. I had some in the container in the kitchen for 3 days and it still stayed really soft. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you find it helpful and that you give it a try. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.